The Young Bucks, they have responded to Kevin Owens taking a shot at them at WWE Raw this week, right after WrestleMania. Yeah, we got some tribalism for you, hot off the press. AEW, WWE flack. It doesn't end there because we're finding out more and more that WWE guys don't really care about talking trash right now in interviews with AEW talent. Seth Rollins, who has always been outspoken, has never really held back his words, now refers to WWE as the big leagues. And if you want to wrestle in the big leagues, you got to come to WWE. Oh, who could he be talking about there? Also, news about Logan Paul, the internet divisive figure who made a mark at WrestleMania, has reportedly negotiated something into a WWE deal that could be a little bit surprising. We'll talk about what that is. Plus, we have more on the reasons behind Tony Khan managing Ring of Honor under the AEW banner. What is the future of the ROH brand underneath AEW? And the Supercard of Honor pay-per-view this past weekend. This was the first one produced by Tony Khan and AEW. What did it do on pay-per-view? We're getting into all of it. You haven't hit like on this video yet. You haven't shared it yet, dude. Come on, share the link or you stink.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out!
Watch out!
Watch out.
There you go. I like that Jeremy comes in with the bass now. That's good.
Maybe I should do the Johnny next time. Watch out. People power.
Thank you for joining us live. What's up, everybody? I'm Kev Kellam, Jose G in Florida. And then over there in Nebraska, if he asks you, that is JB Huskers himself at JB Huskers, Jeremy Bennett. Jeremy, thank you so much for holding it down this past week.
Jeremy was a boss this weekend, man. You killed it.
Yeah, it was like we were in outer space. It's like, Nebraska, we have a problem.
I did a watch along last night too. I was like, holy cow, I've been on camera a lot lately.
You're a popular man. If you're with us, you haven't hit the link video, go ahead and do that. We're marching towards 28,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know a lot of people enjoy us on the Facebook. Thank you so much. Millions of you on the podcast, kicking ass right now. I know some of you guys are just with us in the live streams, but the podcast version of the show, thank you guys so much. So thankful. One of our biggest weeks ever in audio podcasting. We were number 2 in Apple Wrestling charts in Pakistan. We were in the top 100 in the United States, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, and India. And we were number 1. We were the number 1 wrestling podcast in all of my family's native land of Ireland, which was very, very sweet. We did that over the weekend. So thank you guys for checking out the show. Also on that audio podcast, if you guys are like, hey, I just watched Top Story. Well, if you want to listen to everything we do, our interviews drop there as well. And everything we do with Dutch Mantel and Vince Russo every week is on there as well. So check that out. Let's get right into it here. We have a lot of news coming out of the Raw After Mania, a not so heavy wrestling show. I know a lot of people were kind of critical of it. I haven't been able to dip into it, but I did read the stories on it. But what about this, though? A little bit of a curious thing here to make people angry on the internet. The Young Bucks, the figureheads of AEW, reportedly just getting a little bit of a nod, some mockery from Kevin Owens, their former tag team partner in their independent days. He did a little bit of a nod towards their direction in terms of some posing here live on Raw, right?
Oh, they're friends. They're friends. Come on.
Yeah.
This was a dark match last night, unannounced. So nice treat for the Raw After Mania crowd to see Kevin Owens take on Cody Rhodes. And yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty funny. That once that started hitting the internet, that started to spread like wildfire. And then, of course, the Young Bucks had to respond with an update on the bio. What up, Kev? As, of course, those 3 guys are good friends. So pretty cool to see the 2 brands interact. And I thought overall it was a great taunt.
There was a lot of Kevin Owens stuff like this, though. It's always hilarious. It always pays a little bit of fan service to the people that has been following not only Kevin Owens' career, but the Young Bucks career. So it's always nice when we get that little fan service.
Everyone thinks this is a nasty problem. I can see some people saying in the chat that this was, but it isn't. They have a lot of history together. They wrestled as a trio together on the independents for a long, long time. I'm of the thought that this isn't that bad. You had some AEW people backstage this week at WrestleMania.
You had some at Hall of Fame.
Also at the Hall of Fame. Andrade was there in the crowd enjoying the event and sitting with Charlotte. You also had a QT Marshall, who's still very much with AEW. Was
Malachi Black.
Yeah, Malachi Black, a lot of different people. And I think that's fine. You know, I like they were in boxes. GCW had a suite as well at WrestleMania.
I thought that was interesting that they had a suite. I was like, I saw that picture of Lauderdale and Steph. I'm like, whoa. GCW had a good weekend. For the culture, man. Hit Row, the Hit Makers taking on Shane Taylor was great. Effie's Gay Brunch was entertaining as always. Of course, some great
WrestleMania
matches.
had like 150,000 people at it. Like, it's not too bad. I think Raw was kind of sort of a letdown. The Cody promo seemed cool.
Yeah, but wrestling as a whole for the weekend, a lot of fun. Of course, Supercard was great, and a lot of promotions did a lot of great things. Impact had a good show, so it was what you want from a WrestleMania weekend is a lot of wrestlers doing a lot of good things and entertaining the people.
Well, some news here.
If you didn't find anything you like this weekend, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Right.
With all with everyone being nitpicky about Cody or things that are happening on other. If you didn't find anything you like this weekend, there is something seriously wrong with you.
Yeah.
Victor Nash saying, who won the dark match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes?
Cody.
Cody.
All right, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully that pops up in the internet. Hopefully they film that. That was pretty cool. I'd like to see that match.
Ricky here. Ricky Castillo's trying to ignite the flames to Kevin Kellam's ass, saying WWE needs to stop acting like they're the best after that atrocious Raw last night. Here's the thing, Ricky. They took one of the founders of AEW, and now he's being featured in a top spot.
Smack him.
It wasn't it wasn't atrocious Raw though. I'll tell him. I will agree with him there.
I guess outside of the Cody, I'm not going to say anything about Raw because I don't like when people review shows they haven't seen or they just follow on Twitter because I think that's stupid. It's like reviewing a movie off a trailer.
It's like they did a whole lot of nothing, and this is supposed to be a time of reset or start some new things. And about the only new things you got were Cody and then Edge's new faction. Outside of that, there was rematches that we've seen a million times. Nothing happened when Bianca Belair came out. That could have been a perfect spot for a return or a debut. Absolutely nothing happened at the end of Roman. He just did his 10-minute walk to the ring, talked a little bit, and that was it. I mean, it was not a good Raw after Mania, especially, when you're finally out of the pandemic and you got the crowd there.
There's definitely a couple of things they could have changed around last night, especially with the with the whole Cody angle. I mean, I don't know if it would have been too early to pull that trigger, have Roman interrupt. It was like, you come into my island and or get ready to challenge him. That might have been too soon. I agree with you. I agree that for me, at least that last hour was terrible.
The only thing that makes me wonder.
Go ahead.
The only thing that makes me wonder is if Roman is truly hurt. People are still talking about it. And I don't know if he, like I said, on our post show, I don't know if he was, I thought he was just selling the Kimura because he got both arms up with both titles just fine when they were at the entrance ramp.
Doesn't mean he's not hurt.
Yeah. So, maybe they held off on the next chapter and just gave us a boring ass end to Raw because he's hurt and can't do anything for a while. Good news, though, is it looks like Lashley avoided surgery. So a lot of people thought he was coming to Mania, or he held off surgery to get a Mania moment and then was going to have surgery. But it sounds like, especially after beating Almas, that he's avoided surgery. So that's good news there. And of course, you got the big swerve there with MVP turning on Lashley to join Omos last night. So
let's jump into our next story, gentlemen. We have a lot to cover here, just rolling off WrestleMania. And we move on here to a story involving AEW president Tony Khan and former AEW executive vice president Cody Rhodes, now a prominent member of WWE, featured heavily this past weekend on WrestleMania and Monday at Raw. I think he was the highlight of the show. I did watch the promo. I thought it was compelling. I think the more he does these promos where he says it's easy to go back to WWE, the more it's got to piss you off if you're an AEW loyalist. And it would piss me off too if I was with them and I was in that camp. It wouldn't piss me off. It would agitate me, but I would understand it. Let me just be clear then, or refine that. He basically elaborated in a series of different interviews, including the media scrum he did on Sunday, and then a more sit-down interview with Ariel Helwani, that him and Tony Khan were just not seeing eye to eye. He also noted that he was not mature enough for the position that he was in, and it was kind of stressing him out quite a bit. And that he's a little bit more relaxed and kind of understands his role a little bit more. And maybe fatherhood has kind of given him a better perspective on that. But seeing not eye to eye with Tony Khan, this kind of lines up with a lot of different things we heard for a while, is that Tony Khan took the reins from the executive vice presidents in terms of full creative control about 8 to 9 months into AEW Dynamite being on air when they had a slight ratings dip. There were some things that were kind of wishy-washy that not to see the bloom was off the rose, but they wanted to keep the momentum going. And then Khan kind of refined the ship.
Yeah, in that interview, they talked about, of course, Tony has said in the past that there's the fallout and had a personal issue. Cody would not share what that issue was surrounding the two, but did say that they were drifting apart. Quote, unfortunately, I cannot comment on the personal matter itself, but it just really came down. Tony Khan, who I have genuine respect for, and I hope history is really kind to, because he bankrolled the entire grassroots movement that was starting in Ring of Honor, and then All In happened, and of course AEW happened, and then he was able to buy that footage back, and I felt like we were drifting apart. Had I asked him for this, that was the story I saw. I asked him for something and I didn't get it. Had I asked him, he's the type of man that would have given it to me. I just
so money wasn't the issue there.
No, it was probably something in terms of creative control. And
I did like that Cody kind of squashed a bunch of different things that were reported. He didn't get the money he wanted. You know, that was something we were talking about, was money. And now he's kind of saying, no, it wasn't money. It was something else.
He said that he said generally it just felt that it was time. Can't commit on the personal nature, but it was nothing nefarious or scandalous. We just
this is what they created. You know what I mean? Tony Khan brought all this money into the market. It changed the entire marketplace. If you're a big name wrestler, now you have two different opportunities at the top level of the business that are both domestically broadcasted in North America. It's big league ball. Guys can go back and forth. I mean, if you just thought someone signed with the Red Sox and they're with the Red Sox for all life and they're never going to play at the Yankees, you don't have a real perspective of the game. You just have loyalty, which is fine. It's fine if you have that, and that's what brings you into it. But this is isn't this the change you wanted? He changed it by even going back now. So I mean, the thing that I think people have to understand is this is a part of it. There's going to be people that go back and forth, make more money. There's going to be people that want to end their career in WWE and don't want to end it in AEW, or vice versa, you know, or vice versa. What's a crazy scenario? Let me lay it out here. Young Bucks want to have a WrestleMania match. Can't do that in AEW. You know what I mean? Like you want to be Darby Allin wants to have a WrestleMania moment. Can't do it. Wants to be in the Royal Rumble. Can't do it. So there's some things you can only do in WWE on their platform that they've protected and held on to for a long time. And or you want to do things on NBC or through Fox. Now, where are you going to do that if you're in wrestling? Your venture point in is through WWE. So hey, that's part of what it is. Or if you want to do something on Warner, maybe AEW is how you got to do that. So it goes both ways. This is part of it here. Finbar O'Rudar, thank you so much. I love the Irish people popping up here. Maybe it's the old podcast chart here. Finbar saying TK is blowing some amount of cash. He's not blowing it. He spent.
Isn't AEW in the black now?
They've been in the black on and off. I know they were within the black reportedly within the first year. Roland Curtis here with the super chat. Always positive. Says we don't. Crouch Handed, we don't care during Edge's promo. We'll get into that.
They kind of played it off pretty well, though. I thought.
Yeah, they played it off pretty well. I wouldn't worry about it. It's still new. It's not worth. You can't bang the gavel.
Next week on Raw, Rhea Ripley will join the group. So,
all right, we'll see where it goes. But what do you think of this Cody situation, and what do you think of the promo? Where do you think he's going, fellas, within WWE?
I think he's going to be put him in a top spot pretty soon. The story is there, with his dad never winning the title, bringing it home, and the promo last night was very motivating. The fans are very behind him, very noticeably behind him. And I'm actually one to think that he might be the one in due time to take the title off of Roman when that time needs to come. So. They didn't bring him back to be in a mid-card spot. They didn't bring him back to put that music on him. They're bringing him back with the branding he had in AEW into a bigger platform, right? Now that it was seen by millions of people across the world and millions at WrestleMania. So this is a big deal.
The tricky part is he's on the Raw roster now. Roman, I mean, unless the rumors are not true, Roman's going to stay on SmackDown with both belts, and then they're introducing a new world title. So unless Cody wins Money in the Bank, right now the road to him defeating Roman is really up in the air now because he is listed internally in the Raw roster. And I just saw the funniest tweet for all the people.
Unless the brand split goes away and they kind of cross
Yeah.
both SmackDown and Raw like they used to.
I just saw the funniest tweet for all those people saying Cody Rhodes is the first person to jump ship to date from AEW to WWE. They forgot about B. Priestley.
Yeah, it's true. Let's get in here too. I do think Cody was treated like a huge deal by WWE. They don't bring out people for media scrums, guys, unless they want them to be a big
But
deal.
hey, Money in the Bank for the first time is treated as a big five.
Should be noted.
And it's a stadium show.
Yeah.
That, while we were talking to a lot of the other press guys, that was the very first post WrestleMania scrum that WWE has done with a particular superstar. They never do this.
They haven't done
this
that.
This is the first time
probably 5 or 7 years. They haven't done something like that. And that was put together very, very quickly, and it was put together with a lot of emphasis on.
And it went 50 minutes.
Went 15 minutes. It's supposed to go 30. So that's another thing that Cody likes to do. Did that in AEW, doing it. They brought the logo. They had the merch. They had everything ready to go.
I think it all sets up for Cody winning Money in the Bank just because it's the first big in the Big Five now. It's going to be in a stadium. It's going to be treated as a big deal now, a bigger deal than it normally is. So I think that's probably going to set the stage for.
I also think
Cody.
that's why you didn't get him challenging.
Sense.
I also think that's why you didn't get him challenging Roman right away. There's time.
Yeah.
There's time to get.
There's a lot of time. Guys, if you're just tuning in right now, I see 140 of you watching right now. Y'all need to slam that like button. Do that right now. Show us that love and support. Engage with the show. Make sure you show off those laugh emojis, those heart emojis, those angry emojis. Let us know what's on your mind. What do you guys think about Cody's promo last night? His appearance over WrestleMania weekend? Sound off in the comments. Let us know. And go ahead and engage with the show. Let's jump into our next story because this still kind of ties into Cody. Who was Cody's opponent this weekend? Seth Rollins was in the news, and he had some comments to some loyalists or some people that are making their way into the WWE. Jeremy, this is very interesting.
Yeah, on how the best in the world are in the WWE, Seth Rollins said, quote, anybody who wants to come work in the big leagues, and he does his trademark laugh after that. I said to him, Booker T did a great Rollins laugh, by the way, on the kickoff show. I was very impressed. I thought Rollins actually was showing up at the desk, but it was actually Booker T doing it. I said to him at WrestleMania, I've said it before, this is the premier professional wrestling company on the planet. I know, don't say professional wrestling. Doesn't matter. We have the best in the world, and now we have Cody Rhodes on top of that, and he is joining that club. If you want to be the best, don't go play rinky dink. Come here, do your thing here. We are the best, top notch across the board. I'm not taking anything away from anybody else or anywhere else. I love it. Do what you do. You guys are tremendous, and there are great talents out there, but this is where are the best. This is where you find out if you can hack it at the top level.
Several shots fired in that statement alone, Jeremy. Yeah.
I was cutting the promo there for a minute.
That's how we got to cut our promos. Is Jeremy does it, and we're just behind him, just doing handgun poses. This is Seth. I remark on an interview I did with him in 2019. He's when he's saying this stuff, it isn't like he's doing it wink, wink, no. 100% believes it. 100% believes it. All right. And he doesn't have any holdback on this. And I also think that aggravates people because they think, well, you're supposed to give us the shoot thing, but not the complete shoot thing because that's not what no. What did you want? You wanted this? You got it. You don't want to be on that team. If you're in that locker room, you're on that team. That's what you're playing for. You can be courteous and respectful and all those different things, but this is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. You have the names of everyone in WWE dropping out of everyone's mouth on TNT on a weekly basis, and people love it, and it's really cool. And now this guy does it, and it's like, oh, dare you bootlicking Stanford dog. Like, come on, get over yourself. This is the fun stuff you want, and he believes it and backs it up and goes out and has the match of the weekend. So what is it? Which one is it going to be today? Where is the I'm right, but I'm going to back it up with logic that kind of swings like a needle based on the way the weather blows, you know? Which one is it, Internet? Come on, tell me.
And it's interesting because I think over the weekend there was a fan that was burning a Cody Rhodes shirt on a live stream, just showing all the. This is ridiculous.
You know who's
Internet.
you know
What
who's
the hell
laughing
is
at
wrong
that?
with you?
You know who's laughing at that? AEW, because they still got your money.
They still got your money, dude. You burned a shirt. Now you got to buy a new shirt from them.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
I swear,
It's
guys,
like when
some
people are
just
burning
think
all
this
their
is-
Kaepernick stuff. It's like, he still has your money. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So this is pretty ridiculous here. Here we go. We got some wrestle cringe in the comments here. I'll go with it. John Owa Cohen and Cody Rhodes did sign back with AE because Cody Rhodes wanted. Here, let me say this. I'm gonna read the whole comment here. You got on the screen. It moved. Cody Rhodes wanted to be back with WWE because Cena is hosting the TBS and AEW Wednesdays. That isn't true. He's never said that. That's just a
speaking of not true, I've called this the best iteration of Seth Rollins in his career. I have never been.
Eric says Jeremy is still hate on Seth Club.
I have
yeah.
never been on the Seth hate club.
Never.
Go check the tape.
I can attest to that.
I got a lot of tape, by the way.
There's a lot of tape to verify that. We've been on the Seth Rollins bandwagon right now for a while. Whatever y'all saying, it is completely not true. All right, man, let's jump into this Logan Paul story, man. He's been making a lot of eyebrows raised this weekend. Tremendous matchup this weekend with The Miz going up against Mysterios. Man, he looked awesome. But now it looks like we are going to get a babyface Logan Paul.
I don't know, man. Like on the surface, someone prove me wrong on this, right? I've been proven wrong before, and I don't mind saying it. But the guy is a natural heel, just a natural heel. And I think he's the cool heel that we're the generational kids that love him, that are the Gen Z kids. They'll tune in and love him because he's an influencer and all those different things. And he's gorgeous and fun to look at, right? And then for, the Gen X, Zoomer, Boomers, whatever we are above the age of 25, we'll just boo him, right? So my thing is like, keep him a heel then. It was certainly shocking when Miz turned on him, right? To me, the paper lays out here for a big Saudi Arabia match,
it was
right?
Pointless. It was pointless that he turned on him.
It got a big reaction. Like live, people lost their minds with it.
Yeah,
but
it made Miz a babyface. The crowd popped for it.
Yeah. Is it a short-term thing? Is it a short-term payoff here?
I don't see any situation where they cheer Paul. I don't
either.
I think this is going to be the other way around. I think The Miz is going to be the one ending up being the babyface in this matchup because, he'll come off the babyface. It's like, oh, The Miz attacked me, but he's going to be booed so loud that he's going to have no other option to stay as the heel. And The Miz can be a good babyface too, while still having some heelish tendencies.
Can we talk these Monday Night Raw ratings here? I know we smashed on Raw, but the interest in WWE seems to be up here. These numbers coming in from Showbuzz Daily via the Nielsen ratings. Monday Night Raw live after WrestleMania 38 edition here drew an average of 2.1 million viewers, according to Nielsen. This is up 6%. Last week, they had 1.97, so this has been trending for the past month up. For the shows, the first hour drew at 2.3 million, so that's very, very high. That's higher than some quarter hours of SmackDown, which has been the most watched wrestling show on television.
Can we talk about Jeremy Lambert's headline for Veer on Fightful last night?
What did he say?
This got the attention of guys like MVP who retweeted it and couldn't believe what he said. Veer comes hard on Dominic Mysterio.
Oh no.
Yeah, guys like MVP saw that and retweeted it.
Oh no. Let's talk about that one. The MVP with that turn on Bobby Lashley last night. That was really cool.
I saw that coming a mile away.
Him coming uniting forces with Omos. I think that's a good move from Omos.
Yeah, the fact that he wasn't at Mania, I think, really telegraphed that was coming a mile away.
He was in town. I saw him. He was
on camera,
yeah. He was straight up balling. I know that. I saw a big case of booze being brought into the Omni Hotel that he had ordered. So I thought that was like that's on brand. that's on brand, dude. So good on him. So I like that. Some good things here. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor now under the AEW banner. Supercard of Honor getting some great reviews. We will look more at those pay-per-view numbers before we sign off here today. But Jeremy, what's the latest here on Tony Khan kind of overtaking this heritage brand? He's creating his own brand in AEW, but this one he's kind of running one that's already been established. Tony
Khan recently spoke to the media. This was after the Supercard of Honor show. and about if the ROH Championship is going to be defended on AEW. And Tony Khan said, I would definitely love to have Jonathan defend the title in AEW and on AEW programming. I think that's something definitely possible. And Jonathan could tell you, I think, better than anybody about his vast experiences in wrestling and all the championships he's held in all the promotions around the world. So I'm excited for him to defend the championship in AEW on Dynamite or on Rampage, and lots of our great programming. Also, I think there are a lot of great relationships that we have with other companies and relationships Jonathan has with other companies. There's a lot of exciting possibilities, both in AEW and through our favorite term, the Forbidden Door.
Ooh.
Speaking of Supercard of Honor,
is it a Forbidden Door if it's just down the hall?
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh no, he was talking. He's talking about the other.
Forbidden.
No, he was talking about the end of that statement where he's talking about other companies bringing their titles into, or other people into challenge for Ring of Honor. So he's talking about other ones.
Supercard of Honor, well-received show. I haven't been able to see it like if it as I return to Planet Illinois after being on Planet Texas.
Did 20,000 buys, which in comparison, Final Battle Best in the World in 2020 did 3,500. So wow. Big boost into the normal buy rate for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view for Supercard of Honor.
Still less than you'd like, but I mean, also it's WrestleMania week events. Those are doing pretty well. Fight is the destination for that. This was on Fight, where a lot of other wrestling shows were streaming.
This went head-to-head with SmackDown too.
Yeah, and you went head-to-head with the Hall of Fame. I think I could see a lot of fans just saying, you know what, I'm going to watch the Hall of Fame tonight. The Undertaker's going in. And that makes complete sense.
Yep.
But you also have those fans who are just like, I love wrestling. I don't like WWE. There were a lot of people I met this week. You want to hear some funny WrestleMania stories, Jose? I don't know if you knew this. I think you and I shared this in the press box one time. So we were in the press box. We're doing the WWE thing. We're covering the event. But we're there with wrestling media people. We're there with people. And someone told me this story secondhand. I thought it was very, very funny. And this bar put up WrestleMania posters. They put up WrestleMania posters because they knew wrestling fans were in town. I was like, that's really cool. They bought some wrestling stuff for people to come and see. And it was all old WrestleMania posters. So this crew of guys come in, and they were at the GCW AEW events. And the guys are like, hey, thanks for coming in. They can see the wrestling t-shirts. I hope you guys are having a good time at WrestleMania week. And the guy's like, we're not here for WrestleMania. Like, the guy said it like that, and then his friends had to be like, dude, calm down. It's not that and he goes, and the guy's the bartender's like, I don't. Okay, you guys want?
We're not here for WrestleMania. WWE sucks.
Yes,
I don't like that fake stuff.
I don't like that fake stuff.
Yeah, all right. So let's get into this. Roland Curtis,
Roland Curtis.
Cody resurrects the 1977 WWF belt. Now that is in reference, Roland, to an interview that Cody did this week with Ariel Helwani, where he talked about how Dan Lambert, a part of AEW, and is a wrestling historian, a very successful fighting promoter, had the 1977, the physical 1977 WWF championship belt. That was a title that was held by Dusty for a while. It was held by superstar Billy Graham. It was actually part of the leather was torn, which was done in an angle. The actual physical belt. He has it and gifted it to Cody because he knew it was something that would mean something to him. I don't know if that's true. They did air that clip of Dusty winning the world title, and then kind of Cody laying the groundwork to say that he wants to fulfill his father's legacy.
I don't ever see WWF going backwards in terms of titles. I don't think they're ever going to resurrect a title, so to speak.
No, I could see them using the physical title as part of an angle or having it on television.
Yeah.
And WWE in that regard doesn't mind acknowledging their legacy a lot because they do it constantly.
They could incorporate some of the design into the new title, not per se resurrect the actual title, but maybe use some elements of what made that title great and put it into the new championship belt. So,
but then again, if we're doing it we're not having him take on Roman Reigns at that point. We're having him go for that title and not for Roman. So
we'll see. It's an open book. Cody coming into the promotion really changes a lot of things. A couple of new names. So it isn't all bad. A lot more people watching Monday Night Raw this week than there were the past few weeks.
Monet in the chat. Yeah, this is about the most obvious thing that's going to happen tomorrow because A, there was no reason to have a rematch next week. And B, yeah. the only thing that's going to save a turn is if they both join Edge. That's the only thing that's going to save Rhea from turning on Liv.
I want to thank everybody for watching the whole show. You're with us the whole time. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you're watching on demand, we still want to hear from you. Jump into those comments below if you've been watching on demand, and don't be not out of the conversation. Lurkers and watchers and silent mouths, they don't get wrestling fed on the internet. Come on now, let's jump into the conversation. Get yourself a piece of the pie. Conversation pie. It is hot and steaming, and it never cools off. Remember, when watching wrestling, you must do the most important thing, which is what, gentlemen?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
You do that with a cadence of like clap. Enjoy wrestling. Yes, enjoy wrestling.
Enjoy wrestling.
Clap.
Yeah.
Clap.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.